Good morning, Your Majesties. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you that are new here, welcome to my YouTube channel and happy day 12 of Princessmess. Guys, tomorrow is Grandma Majesty's birthday. I cannot wait to celebrate her birthday with her in Texas. I'm so freaking excited. Okay, so I have another story for you guys, another celebrity ghost story. This one's name is Feruza Balk. I think that's her name. I don't know. Okay. And it says Feruza Balk appeared on Celebrity Ghost Stories in 2011 and told a story about her terrifying experience as a teenager when she stayed in a haunted hotel room. She is best known for playing a teen witch in The Craft. Ah, okay. Now, I was wondering why she looked familiar. For playing a teen witch in The Craft, 1996. I was 4 years old in 96. Can you believe that? Okay. This is literally one of the most terrifying times I can remember in my life. I was so terrified. The worst part of it, that it wasn't like it was a shadow of a person or an orb of some of these things people talk about. I don't know what it was. I started acting when I was 6 years old, and I always traveled with my mother. When I came to Los Angeles for meeting or auditions, we always stayed at this one particular hotel. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful old Hollywood hotel, and it looked as though it was frozen in time. Oh boy. When I was about 15 or 16, it was my first trip to Los Angeles alone. I arrived at the hotel and they brought me to my room. It was on a different floor than the room I usually stayed in. When I asked them why, they told me, "Oh, sorry, your room was booked, so we're putting you in here." Well, why would they just tell her that prior? You know what I mean? Okay, the room they put me in was on the first floor, close to the lobby. I ordered my dinner and got ready for bed. I noticed it was really, really cold, so I got an extra blanket out of the closet. I turned all the lights off and got into bed. I tried to relax, think good thoughts, and go to sleep. All of a sudden, there was a click, and the lamp on the bedside table came on. It struck me as strange, but I just turned it off, rolled back over and tried to go to sleep. Click, the light came on again. I turned it back off again. Click, the light came on again. I started to get the creeps, and the room got much colder. It got so cold that I was shivering. I was sitting up in bed with the covers around my neck, and I could see my own breath in the room. Whoa. It was getting colder and colder and colder, and I was getting more and more frightened. The air itself became thicker. It was tangible, as if you could reach out and grab it if you wanted to. Oh, wow. Then suddenly the chair in front of the desk tipped over and crashed to the floor. Oh, hell no. I jumped, and as I watched the chair slowly begin sliding across the floor, that was when I knew something was in there with me. Oh boy. Okay. The curtains began to billow even though the French doors were closed. Then all of a sudden, everything in the room went berserk. The light on the ceiling was turning on and off. The desk started to move. The curtains were literally flying all over the place. Oh, it just got worse and worse and worse. What in the hell? At this point, I was freaking out. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. No sound would come out of my throat. With every passing moment, it was getting more and more intense, as if it was feeding off my fear. Like the room itself was possessed. Oh, geez. See, I like scary stuff, but I don't know about all this stuff. I don't know. I feel like someone can get hurt in this situation. I was trying to figure out how to get to the door, how to get out of the room, and how to get away from whatever it was that was in there. I pulled the covers up to my eyes. I pulled the covers over my eyes. I took a deep breath. I told myself I was a big girl. I told myself I was strong enough to handle this. I told myself not to be afraid. I told myself that whatever was in there with me, it couldn't hurt me because it wasn't alive. That's true. Okay. Um, I was sucking up all my courage, and as I took a deep breath and was about to get up, the bed underneath suddenly collapsed. What? Then it lifted up a foot. Then it lifted up a foot off the floor and threw me off. Oh, what? No, 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 no. I landed on the floor and took off running. When I got to the door, I looked back and the air was thick, like a fog, and it came at me. Oh, jeez. I ran, I ran in I ran in my bare feet and my nightie. I glanced over my shoulder and I couldn't see it in the doorway. I felt it rushing behind me. It was coming after me. There was a gust of wind going past me. My hair was whipping around. I wasn't even sure I was going to get to the lobby. I just had to run as fast as I could and pray that I would make it. I got to the lobby and I opened my mouth to tell them what happened, but no sound came out. Are you kidding me? Oh gosh. It was like someone had put a vice around my throat and my stomach. The only sound that would come out was a hoarse croak. There's something in my room. Like after about an hour, I could finally talk about what happened. I told them I didn't want to go back to that room. I didn't even want to go near the room. There was something in there. There was something in there. I insisted, and no one can tell me there wasn't. I was trying to convince them, but they stopped me and said, "You don't have to convince us. We know. There is something. This is something you know about," I said. This this has happened here before. Yes, they said on the first floor we've had a few incidents. There was a woman who worked as a maid, and I heard her say under her breath, she should never have been put in that. She Wait, there was a woman who worked as a maid, and I heard her say under her breath, she should never have been put in that room. I was like, what? The next day, I was on a flight home. Whatever it was really angry, and it felt more than anything as if it needed to be noticed, and it was angry, that it wasn't. I still visit the hotel, but I never stayed there. I only go there to have lunch. The interesting thing is the room I stayed in is sealed shut now. Nobody can stay in there anymore. And it wasn't just because of me. They had other incidents and got to the point where they felt it wasn't safe. At least then I knew that I wasn't the only one who had experienced something and that it was real. That is so creepy. Okay, that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Princess Peyton. Hit the red button to become your majesty and hit the bell. What the heck? Why am I getting red? Maybe I shouldn't be telling these stories because it's like, I don't know. Is it affecting me? I don't know. Hit the red button to become your majesty and hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I upload a video. And I love you guys so much. You guys are the best human beings ever made. And you're the king of my heart in the song lyrics to Taylor Swift. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Okay, love you. Bye. Mwah.